I will suggest a protocol by which you can achieve a better relationship to your activities and to your dopamine system. In fact, it will help tune up your dopamine system for discipline, hard work, and motivation. Hard work is hard. Generally, most people don't like working hard. Some people do, but most people work hard in order to achieve some end goal.
Yeah.
End goals are terrific and rewards are terrific, whether or not they are monetary, social, or any kind. However, because of the way that dopamine relates to our perception of time, working hard at something for sake of a reward that comes afterward can make the hard work much more challenging and make us much less likely to lean into hard work in the future. Let me give you a couple examples by way of data and experiments.
Hold up now.
There's a classic experiment done actually at Stanford many years ago in which children in nursery school and kindergarten drew pictures. And they drew pictures because they like to draw. The researchers took kids that like to draw and they started giving them a reward for drawing. The reward generally was a gold star or something that a young child would find rewarding. Then they stopped giving them the gold star. And what they found is the children had a much lower tendency to draw on their own.
No cap.
Reward. Now, remember, this was an activity that prior to receiving a reward, the children intrinsically enjoyed and selected to do. No one was telling them to draw. What this relates to is so-called intrinsic versus extrinsic reinforcement.
Hold up, y'all. Hey, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. That shit low-key kind of crazy because if you really think about it, bro, no one wants to work hard and then finally get the results. That's the whole topic. That's what's been going around for decades, even centuries, or even hundreds of years. People want the reward, but they don't want to put in the work. I know y'all have heard this thousands of times, millions of times, but in order to get results, you're gonna have to put in hard work. You're gonna have to put in hard work until you're in a position. Once you're in position, then you can start making better moves without working as hard. You know what I'm saying? Once you get the money, you can invest in different things. But starting from the ground up, you gotta build that solid foundation. And it's the same thing with the gym. And that's really why they always say health is wealth. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be obese or fat or out of shape and not make money, but you can relate to this. When you go to the gym, and so you go to the gym for a week, you might see slight progress, but it's nothing that's super significant. And it's the same principle. It's the same thing. Everybody wants to look good, but nobody wants to work out. You're tired of being fat? Stop eating shitty ass food and start eating more healthier. Start going to the gym. Start exercising. If you're tired of being skinny, eat more and go lift. But in both of those scenarios, you have to put in the work. You have to work hard. And the results, you don't get it the next day. You don't get it the next day after. You don't get it a week after. You don't get it 2 weeks after. You get it in the long term, the long game. It might be 3-4 months. Or you might gain 5 pounds a month and you're trying to put on muscle. Okay, it took you 30 days in order to gain 5 pounds. Or it might took you 30 days in order to gain 2 pounds. Think about that. Or for example, if you're overweight, it might take you a month and a half in order to lose 10 pounds. And that's okay. That's the long-term gain. And eventually, if you're losing 10 pounds a month, at the end of the year, guess what? You're going to look better. It's the same shit. It's the same shit, man. I fuck with dude.
When we receive rewards, even if we give ourselves rewards for something, we tend to associate less pleasure with the actual activity itself that evoked the reward. Now, that might seem counterintuitive, but that's just the way that these dopaminergic circuits work. And now understanding these peaks and baselines in dopamine, which I won't review again, this should make sense. If you get a peak in dopamine from a reward, it's going to lower your baseline. And the cognitive interpretation is that you didn't really do the activity because you enjoyed the activity, you did it for the reward.
For the
Now,
pleasure.
this doesn't mean all rewards of all kinds are bad, but it's also important to understand that dopamine controls our perception of time. When and how much dopamine we experience is the way that we carve up what we call our experience of time. When we engage in an activity, let's say school or hard work of any kind or exercise, because of the reward we are going to give ourselves or receive at the end, the trophy, the sundae, the meal, whatever it happens to be, we actually are extending the time bin over which we are analyzing or perceiving that experience. And because the reward comes at the end, we start to dissociate the neural circuits for dopamine and reward that would have normally been active during the activity. And because it all arrives at the end, over time, we have the experience of less and less pleasure from that particular activity while we're doing it.
That makes sense.
Now, this is the antithesis of growth mindset. My colleague at Stanford, Carol Dweck, as many of you know, came up with this incredible.
Hold up. Hey, y'all, if y'all watching this video, comment below. What the fuck does antithesis mean? I ain't never heard that motherfucking word, man. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't gonna cap. You know what I'm saying? Oh, dude, he a doctor. You feel me? So if it's some words that he's saying and you don't hear me elaborate on it, because I truly do not know what the fuck that shit mean. But I'm gonna look that shit up after this video.
Theory and principle, and it actually goes beyond theory and principle. It's called growth mindset, which is this striving to be better, to be in this mindset of I'm not there yet, but striving itself is the end goal. And that, of course, delivers you to tremendous performance. It's been observed over and over and over again that people that have growth mindset, kids that have growth mindset, end up performing very well because they're focused on the effort itself. And all of us can cultivate growth mindset. The neural mechanism of cultivating growth mindset involves learning to access the rewards from effort and doing. And that's hard to do because you have to engage this prefrontal component of the mesolimbic circuit. You have to tell yourself, okay, this effort is great. This effort is pleasurable, even though you might actually be in a state of physical pain from the exercise. Or I can recall this from college, just feeling like I wanted to get up from my desk, but forcing myself to study, forcing myself. What you find over time is that you can start to associate a dopamine release. You can evoke dopamine release from the friction and the challenge that you happen to be in.
Damn.
You completely eliminate the ability to generate those circuits and the rewarding process of being able to reward friction while in effort. If you are focused only on the goal that comes at the end. Because of the way that dopamine marks time. So if you say, oh, I'm going to do this very hard thing and I'm going to push and push and push and push for that end goal that comes later, not only do you enjoy the process of what you're doing less, you actually make it more painful while you're engaging in it. You make yourself less efficient at it because if you were able to access dopamine while in effort, dopamine has all these incredible properties of increasing the amount of energy in our body and in our mind, our ability to focus by way of dopamine's conversion into epinephrine. But also, you are undermining your ability to lean back into that activity the next time. The next time you need twice as much coffee and three times as much loud music and 4 times as much energy drink and the social connection just to get out the door in order to do the run or to study.
Damn. Hey, y'all. Hey, that is crazy. I'm trying to think real quick. You have to fall in love. You have to fall in love with the effort. Fall in love with the process, fall in love with the journey, and don't dwell on what you have to do for that day. For example, when you have to force yourself to get up and study, force yourself to go to class, force yourself to do that workout, force yourself to do certain things. Instead of forcing yourself, be excited, be grateful, be ready to put in the effort, to put in the work. That's how you're going to get those dopamines. It makes sense, bro. That shit crazy. Like, for example, We men, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if it's females watching this, but us as fellas, you can have a long ass day at work. Long ass day. I'm talking about you tired in the bitch. Nigga, you ready to go home, kick them work boots off, take a shower, all that. And a female can hit you up and be like, shit, you tryna, you know what I'm saying? You tryna get there? You trying to get there? What's it called? Nigga, I don't give a fuck how tired you are. You gonna go smash them cheeks. You gonna do it. That's the dopamine, bro. That motherfucker give you energy. That motherfucker get you power. When a bitch hit you up with that late night text talking about come through, it could be 1 o'clock in the morning. You don't give a fuck. You get that, I'm finna get in that car and drive on the road, go bust that down. And then drive back and go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's the dopamine. Think about that shit, bro. That's what it is. So, what he's saying is, just flip it. Flip the roles. Flip the roles. Get excited to put in the effort. Get excited to read that book that you need for a class, because that book is going to help you in the end goal. In the end goal. That's crazy. Growth. The growth process. Stop saying, man, I gotta study. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Because you're wearing yourself down. Say, I'm glad that I get to study. I'm glad that I get to elevate my life. I'm glad I get to go to the gym and go through this pain, because at the end of the day, at the end of the year, at the end of the years, I'm going to look better. I'm going to feel better. I'm going to have more energy. When you get the reward first, you kind of fucking up. You are fucking up. That's why porn addiction is so strong. That's why substance abuse and drug abuse is a thing, because once you need that vice, once you need that, let's say you have a long day at work and you need that cold beer. Okay, well, once your body gets used to that one beer, now you're going to need 2. Then after that, now you're going to need 3. And after that, now you're going to need 4. And after that, now you're going to need 5. And then sooner or later, you're an alcoholic. To see how these habits, see how these things transpire. You went from 1 drink to 10, and then from 10 to how many ever you need just to get that first feeling of that first dopamine that you got from when you first drank that Henny, when you drank that Crown, because you need it now. You need it now in order to decompress. You need that. You need that vice. Shit's crazy. It's like I just went through a fucking spiritual awakening right now, y'all. Hey man, I fuck with this shit.
So what's more beneficial, in fact, can serve as a tremendous amplifier on all endeavors that you engage in, especially hard endeavors, is to not start layering in other sources of dopamine in order to get to the starting line. Mm-hmm. Not layering in other sources of dopamine in order to be able to continue, but rather to subjectively start to attach the feeling of friction and effort to an internally generated reward system. And this is not meant to be vague. This is a system that exists in your mind, that exists in the minds of humans for hundreds of thousands of years, by which you're not just pursuing the things that are innately pleasurable, food, sex, warmth, water when you're thirsty, but the beauty of this mesolimbic reward pathway that I talked about earlier is that it includes the forebrain. So you can tell yourself the effort part is the good part. I know it's painful. I know this doesn't feel good, but I'm focused on this. I'm going to start to access the reward. You will find the rewards, meaning the dopamine release inside of effort if you repeat this over and over again. And what's beautiful about it is that it starts to become reflexive for all types of effort. When we focus only on the trophy, only on the grade, only on the win as the reward, you undermine that entire process.
Cutting it out.
How do you do this? You do this in those moments of the most intense friction. You tell yourself, this is very painful, and because it's painful, it will evoke an increase in dopamine release later, meaning it will increase my baseline in dopamine. But you also have to tell yourself that in that moment, you are doing it by choice and you're doing it because you love it. And I know that sounds like lying to yourself, and in some ways it is lying to yourself, but it's lying to yourself in the context of a truth, which is that you want it to feel better. You want it to feel even pleasurable. Now, this is very far and away different from thinking about the reward that comes at the end, the hot fudge sundae for after you cross the finish line. And you can replace hot fudge sundae with whatever reward happens to be appealing to you. We revere people who are capable of doing what I'm describing. David Goggins comes to mind as a really good example. Many of you are probably familiar with David Goggins, former Navy SEAL, who essentially has made a post-military career out of explaining and sharing his process of turning the effort into the reward. There are many other examples of this too, of course. Throughout evolutionary history, there's no question that we revered people who were willing to go out and forage and hunt and gather and caretake in ways that other members of our species probably found exhausting and probably would have preferred to just put their feet up or soak them in a cool stream rather than continue to forage.
And with that being said, turn the effort into reward. Turn the process into the end goal, because that means your process is the end goal every day. Your the effort, the trials and tribulations, the pain that you're going through, you turn that into a positive influence. You turn that into the end goal. That's some strong shit. And this is why I like finding new people to react to or talk to or pick their brains, because everybody thinks things differently. Everybody has a different way. Everybody has a different solution. Everybody has different ideas to something. So, for example, you can be thinking that you're behind, and then talk to a random stranger, and they can tell you you're ahead. But how? How am I ahead in life? Oh, well, you have family. You have a support system. You have people that actually care about you. You have the necessary tools. You have the necessary equipment. You have the things to do it. But the only thing that you're missing is a different thought process. Damn, I got to go to work. Damn, I'm grateful that I can go to work and pay my bills. See how that happens? Damn, I'm overweight. Or, damn, I get to go to the gym today and suffer and go through this pain, because at the end, it's going to make me better. And therefore, every day, I should feel excited to go through this pain. I should feel glad to go through this pain. I'm happy to wake up and make a video. I'm happy to wake up and go to school. See? It's all about how you picture things in your head. What's your idea? How do you think about it? Because you're the only person in control of your mind. Therefore, you choose if you have a good or a bad day. Think about it.
The ability to access this pleasure from effort aspect of our dopaminergic circuitry is without question the most powerful aspect of dopamine and our biology of dopamine. And the beautiful thing is it's accessible to all of us. But just to highlight the things that can interfere with and prevent you from getting dopamine release from effort itself, don't spike dopamine prior to engaging in effort. And don't spike dopamine after engaging in effort. Learn to spike your dopamine from effort itself.
Oh, man. Hey, y'all. Woo. Hey, I don't know about y'all, bro, but that shit really kind of woke me up, man. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the bricks. Enjoy the foundation. Enjoy the hustle. Enjoy the grind, the grit. Turn the effort into the enjoyment. Enjoy the pain. Turn the pain into pleasure. Turn the pain into pleasure. You're going to have more energy. Think about that. See, a lot of y'all stop working out. You stop doing things. And now you're wondering why you have less energy. You're wondering, why do I feel so down? Why am I always so tired? When the reality, you separated yourself from the things that gave you these boosts. Therefore, go back to the foundation. Go back to the pain. Get back in the gym, my nigga. Get back to working out. Get back to taking them walks. Take your life back. Cause you can. It's never too late. But if you don't never wake up, if you don't never get a hold of your life, then you're living in chaos. Plan your shit out and get on your fucking grind. Hey, it's your boy The Real RX. I'm out. Y'all stay tuned, man.